Good morning, Bob Icino from Pat Trading Partners, along with my co-founder Mike Arnold. AM Pat Chat covering the Forex markets for April 5th. Thanks for being here. Some interesting things last night, overnight. The most interesting being the second French presidential debate. The way these things are going, even though the polls favor the centrist candidate, you really can't count anything out considering what happened with Brexit and what happened with the election of President Donald Trump. But when you look at the second French debate, a snap poll after the debate had the leftist Jean-Luc Mélenchon, who's kind of a veteran of France's political circuit, as the most convincing performer. He's way down in the polls. He's not somebody that's expected to show for the final election. The main two, Le Pen and Macron was higher rated overall. And Marie Le Pen actually came in fourth place behind Francois Fillon, who was actually under investigation for fake jobs. So she didn't do well at all, according to the snap poll. But again, in terms of the French elections, 2/3 of the voters are still labeled as undecided. So it can really go either way. It's not really decided, obviously, clearly, as we've seen with polls versus the last two important things that have happened in the political spectrum, being Brexit and the election of President Trump. We had Japanese PMI services last night come out a little bit better than expected, and the composite came out a little bit better than expected. Not much. 51.3 is where the last one was. 52.9 is where the services PMI came out, and the composite was also 52.9 versus a last of 52.2. Those are both for March. In terms of today, we also had the UK market services PMI for March and the composite PMI for March for the UK. Both also came out better than expected, 55 versus an expectation of 53.5 for the services PMI. And the composite for the UK, 54.7 versus 53.8. In the US, we've got the ADP employment change. That's coming out at about 7:15 Central, 8:15 Eastern. 189,000 expected versus 298 last. But of most important in terms of data, 9 a.m. ISM services, non-manufacturing composite for March, expected to be at 57 versus 57.6 last. Draghi said nothing of note. And later tonight, we've got China's Caixin PMI, both composite and services, and Japan's foreign buying of stocks and bonds. Let me turn it over to Mike to let you know what he is seeing on the charts. Mikey, it is all yours.
Thank you very much, Bob. Very low volatility day so far today, and this might continue unless we get something major, a big miss or beat in the numbers, or somebody says something that's not expected. So if we do rally in the euro, significant overhead resistance 106.97 to 107.03. And then we have a flattening but slightly down rotation zone at 107.10. If something did come out on a big rally, then we're watching for 107.33 to 107.37. If the euro heads back down, support around 106.69, followed by not much until 106.49. Then we have a rising trend line coming in, and then you'd have a retest of yesterday's lows, which are 106.35. So over to the pound. Pound has a little more volatility, but so far inside bar to yesterday on a continued rally. We're right up in a pretty significant resistance zone. If it does move higher, 124.96, followed by 125.16, and then 125.25 up here. If we turn around and head back down, support at 124.66, followed by not much until where it opened today, around 124.36. Then if the 124.36 is broken, watch for a retest of today's and yesterday's low area and the GAN level 124.25. Over to yen. Again, very small bar so far today. Continued rally. Resistance right around the 111.12, followed by declining trend line, and 111.45 is key. If that is broken, significant level and prior target area and GAN level 111.65. If it turns around and heads back down, support around 110.64 level we've mentioned many times. And then we're looking down to around yesterday's lows, 110.27 prior defining point and prior lows around 110.15. Swissy just got rejected again this morning from our very key level of 10037. So if we rally back up, that's going to be a very strong resistance number. If we do break through that, we go to 10045, and then we have a declining trend line coming in right around 10052. If we do head down and turn back down, watch for 10009, which is this level right in here. Then we have right around the 1 even mark, and then we have 99.92 below that. Aussie came up, just hit our 62% GAN level, 75.88. Found some resistance there. If that's broken, 75.93, followed by 76.02 on the upside. Turning back down, very key support around 75.58, flat 200 and prior GAN level, and then a retest of yesterday's lows around 75.45. CAD, strong rally up, then fell back yesterday. So far, very, very low volatility in the CAD today. If we continue back down lower, support right around the 133.82, followed by the 133.62, and then we have this prior trend line which has not been redrawn yet, and our flat rotation zone coming in around 133.54. On a rally, we really don't have any major resistance. We have a couple bottoms in here right around the 134.21, and then we have the levels we were rejected from yesterday, 134.41, and the high yesterday, 134.55. Finally, Mexican peso, another inside day so far. Rallied up yesterday in the rotation zone, fell back to closing close to the 8. No redraw on the trend line yet. If we do rally up, watch for a retest of 1894.36, followed by this prior area up here in our significant level, which is 19.0065, followed by 19.0277. If it heads lower, very key support right around the 1868.76, followed by the 1864.34, followed by the 1861.29. That's all we have for you. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Michael. Interestingly enough, there is one more jobs number that has recently begun a series of releases, and that is the LinkedIn Workforce Report. And that particular report showed hiring in March was 9% lower than in February. But hiring across the U.S. was 5.8% higher than in March of 2016. That came out earlier this morning. Isn't important. We don't even list it as a significant economic release yet. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys in the next Path Chat.